What's up, everybody? It's Bones88 back again. I got my buddy Dusty, like always, and we got a little road ahead for Dragon Champions in today. We didn't know it was coming, or I didn't, and so we got a little a glimpse ahead, and we're just going to tell you guys what we think. So let's just start off here. It says, here on the Dragon Champions crew, we've been working really hard. Want to give you a sneak peek of what we're doing, blah, blah, blah. They're still focused on revamping Battlegrounds, all that. In fact, we're really getting close to finishing it and are planning to start testing it soon. The existing battlegrounds will become a sandbox where you can continue playing with your friends just for fun. So yeah, that's I kind of expected battlegrounds to be here a little bit sooner, and they don't really have an idea, I don't think. And even when it comes, it's going to go into testing. So what do you think about that, Dusty?
Um, I I'm not a big fan of that. I think they needed to give us something with what they had already introduced into the game, rather than just completely scrapping it. There's too many characters in that store for them to just say, "Oh, we're not going to do anything with that," and not give you a really good way, a really good and fun way, I should say, of earning that currency so that you can progress with your farms of those characters.
And what's the problem with getting rewards for doing the original Battlegrounds? I don't see why they have to take rewards away from it. I mean, even if they lessened it, even if it's for fun, why can't you get rewards for it? I don't understand that
Right,
either.
definitely.
And
I,
so,
I think they really needed to make it. I really think they just needed to revamp even just the scoring system. Like, instead of penalizing you for losing,
mhm.
give the winner X amount of trophies, give the loser X amount of trophies, and then you're always progressing.
All right, let's move on here. We'll give our overall thoughts on all this afterwards. But we have also been working on improving new players' experience. We are redesigning the tutorial to provide a smoother onboarding for the new coming champions and also to help them learn the basics of the game in a fascinating and engaging manner. Besides polishing the tutorial, we have even recorded a voice acting for our characters. At the start, the voice acting will be available in English for the first chapter of Order Campaign. So I mean, as far as that, like I want there to be more people in the game and everything. Of course, that's always a good thing. My only one thing is like maybe, and I'll mention more about this as we go on, but like more stuff for the in-game player besides you know. But we'll keep talking about that and go on. But
Right.
is there anything you want to say about that?
I think it's good to make sure that new players understand the game. But I think it's more important right now that you get the current player base on board, not just supporting the game, but telling other people to play, because
Yeah.
that's how you grow your player base.
Right.
So I don't know if that was the best investment for them at this point.
But I didn't think anything was wrong with the beginning of it, so it'd be interesting what they mean by changing it. But and like even adding another campaign or something, just something like that to give us something to do. But and okay, moving on here. As soon as we finish improving early game experience and making it comfortable for newcomers, we plan to launch a massive marketing campaign to attract a lot of new players to Dragon Champions. Be ready to give them your warmest welcome. With the full cycle legendary events finished, as mentioned earlier, we are changing the following cycles to come, so that now you can, so now, so that now you wouldn't have to wait for 6 months to get a legendary to hear you desire. And so that what they mean by that is the first and biggest change is that Soleus Mystery Legendary event is becoming permanent for players who don't have this hero at 7 stars. So that's good. That's cool. I wish they would do that with a couple other ones. Maybe they'll add that to it later down. So yeah, new players is good. That'll help new players get Soleus, which is he's been out long enough where it's not a big deal really to anybody in the end game.
I think that's a good move, because when you get into the game, like, you don't really know what direction to take.
Hmm.
Most people will recommend you go for orcs because they're easy to farm and they're relatively good overall. Low gear requirements
Hmm.
generally, compared to other factions, and they're really good in unlocking Soleus.
Yeah.
But having that Soleus event there, instructs people saying like, "Hey, I want Soleus. He's a good character." And if they talk to anybody,
Yeah.
they'll find out he's a good character.
And
You know,
I'm
I
sure.
think the one problem I see with it is that spenders who are just starting the game are going to immediately just spend to get orcs where they need to, and immediately get Soleus, which is again going to put them at a really big disadvantage,
Yep.
or put them at a big advantage, and free to play at a big disadvantage. So there's pros and cons to it, but I think it's a good change.
It's money for the game too, I guess. It's more money for them if a newcomer's wailing right from the get-go. But all right, moving on. Okay, and so that's not all. Guild Raid Tier 8 is coming to the game soon. It will indeed be a real challenge for high-level guilds that will require strategy and coordination and also provide greater rewards. But what about the Goblin Boss raid you teased? Some of you may ask, but we are also working on that. We want to implement interesting new mechanics for this boss, making him really different from Arakar. With the new raid, with the new raid, new gear items required for Gear 12 should also appear in the game, and that is why it's not that easy to get this done really fast. Is that a typo? The new raid, new gear. That doesn't sound...
With the new raid, we should have put a comma there. New
Gotcha.
gear items required from Gear 12 should also appear in the game. The guild raid tier 8 just is not appealing to me at all. Not at all. It's already a big enough pain. And our guild, AOK, is one of the better guilds in the game.
Are we?
And we're struggling. Oh yeah, we're like top 40.
I didn't even know that. All right, cool. I feel special then.
And the problem is we don't even get barely enough tickets because we're losing so many players to consistently do tier 7, which is the highest tier currently.
Yeah.
I think that making it harder isn't going to make it more fun. It's not adding anything new to the game. It's just going to make it more annoying.
Yeah.
And it's either going to encourage players who already are dominating to continue to dominate, or it's just going to make players, for instance, like me, who I could solo phase 3 and phase 1, but I don't care to.
Yeah.
Because it's just time consuming.
Well, and all they're doing is adjusting some...
Not that fun.
They're just adjusting some stats is all they're really doing. And they're not changing anything. So it's not... I don't really care either way. I mean, I guess we'll get better rewards, but, you know, we don't have that many more characters to really farm towards, and we don't have that...
Yeah.
We don't have, you know... We don't have really anything to care about for Gear Tier 8. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think we're going to get something good out of it. I mean, it's nothing exciting. You know, I'm not excited about it, but I'm sure it'll be worth the rewards. I'm hoping. I don't know why else they'd do it. So, and it's going to have to be geared towards in-game players because that's the only ones.
Those are the people doing tier 7 and tier 8
yeah.
in-game players.
Yeah. So I think. I mean, when it comes out, we'll be like, all right, cool. We'll get good rewards. And then, of course, I'm excited about another raid because we only have one. So this Goblin Boss raid, they've teased. I didn't even know they teased one.
Right. They had put out some graphic art quite a long time ago. I'd say at least 6 months ago, and nothing's really come of it.
Because I just hit, I think, day 300 today or tomorrow. So yeah, I've almost been playing for a year.
Yep, about 10 months for both of us.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, and that's not very long really to have most of the characters and everything else. So yeah, we need more stuff. I mean, honestly. So I'm excited about it.
The progression is good in the game. It's just there's not enough to do right now. So hopefully some of this stuff comes to pass quickly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe it's not that far, none of this is that far away. They don't give us any dates. That's why it's kind of not. That's why I think it is kind of far into the future because they're not giving any dates or anything.
Right, I agree.
And so yeah, so about the raids, don't really care about tier 8. I'm down for a new raid. That'd be awesome. Just to see something different would be cool. Just having something different to do. And then they said, having heard your feedback and thoughts you sharing with us about tournaments, we thought that they could also be redesigned to provide a more fun experience. So this is what I was talking about earlier, I guess, that they're doing some tweaks and making the mode comfortable for new players as well as experienced champions. you'll no longer be losing points for defeat. So that's great. If you've been playing this, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you lose points every time you lose a match in tournaments, and it makes you not want to attack or not do the mode after a certain point because you're afraid to go down in rank, and that means worse rewards. So that's a good thing. And you just gain them to win, okay, and then that's about all they say about that. But I'm okay with tournaments mode. I mean, that's just an improvement, but I mean, once again, that's just kind of like a fix, you know what I mean? That's not really something to look forward to ahead, you know. That's not like a big deal. It's just kind of a little fix.
Yeah, there's not a lot. I do like the idea of not being penalized for attacking and losing, or even just being attacked and losing. I don't think you should lose, banners for something you can't really control. Like for a player like me, I don't really care about the legendary event cycle being changed.
Yeah.
Because I've already got all of them. The only thing that's going to happen is it's going to speed up me being able to get 7-star at the lane, and that's it.
So the last thing they say is, with that, we also continue improving game balance, visuals, squashing nasty bugs, and they say also working on a brand new mode and new events where you will have a chance to show who's the greatest champion of Corridor. So what do you think that means?
I have no idea, and I know they want to tease that to keep players on board, but like I was saying, you have to give your player base something to be excited about right now. Otherwise, you're not going to get people to join. Because how many people, and you're so pro, you're one of the most pro Dragon Champions people I know.
Oh,
and you're telling people to, get on, right?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
DB is not telling anybody to join. Okay? And he's the one that told us early on in the game. He's like, you should try this out. And I tried it out. I was like, yeah, this is fun.
Yep.
But I'm not telling anybody. I'm not going on to his server saying, yeah, join this game, because there's nothing to do.
Yeah.
And you really are.
And it's growing. They just announced 1 million users. I feel like that's quite a bit. I mean, it's not a whole bunch,
it's
but
good.
Yeah.
It's good. It's just they have to keep those users. That could be 1 million people who have joined completely, but how many of hundreds of thousands of people that have quit the game already?
Yeah,
I mean,
a lot.
just look at our small guild.
Yeah.
We've had at least 10 people quit in the last 3 months. At
Yeah.
least 10 people. So, and that's just one guild.
And so this whole road ahead is, I mean, there's some cool things, but overall it's very underwhelming for people like me and Dusty who are in the end game. And we've done it all. Now it's just we're autoing everything, and it's the same problem in Galaxy of Heroes right now, but it's been out way longer. As in, we're all waiting on something to do, and when this comes out and people like me and Dusty read this, it's like, wow, you're gonna add a tier to a raid, and the biggest thing out of this was you're gonna give us another raid. And then we already knew that was going on, and they've talked about Battlegrounds, which I guess is the biggest thing. But we've already known that's coming. You know what I mean? So they didn't tell us anything new that was like, oh wow, I didn't know that was coming. I can't wait. They kind of just went over and confirmed that we're definitely doing this stuff, and we're making a couple of tweaks. So I just thought it was kind of underwhelming. And
I agree. I think they could do a lot more to endear the player base to them.
I just hope they start putting this stuff out in a decent amount of time. If this is just like in a month or two, then I'm down. But if this is like a 4, 5, 6 month road ahead, I don't know so we don't know what this time frame is. So if it's like a 2-month time frame, I'm cool with it all. But if it's like a 4, 5, 6 month, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? That's all we're gonna get.
But at the same time, all of this stuff, because this isn't that much, all of this stuff should be implemented in the next 2 months. My opinion.
That's what I was saying.
I don't see it being that groundbreaking. I just don't see that. So you got to do something to keep people from losing their minds. Like, I mean, I go into this game and I'm like, I'd love to love this game.
Yeah.
But I can't. There's just not enough right now for me to love in this game. That's super disappointing, obviously. But what do you do?
Well, they said that they're almost finished with Battlegrounds, so if they can get that out to us in like a month, or we're all playing it. I don't know
Right.
how long does it take to test something. Do you know anything about that?
I know they were testing, I know for a fact they were testing this current version, this current iteration of Battlegrounds for months on end. I know
Really?
that.
See,
And
I'm kind of
it
worried
just
about that
didn't.
then.
Exactly. And you're like, well, I really would love for this to, be something, but it's who knows what's going to happen.
Well, I mean,
It's just,
honestly, they just need to copy Galaxy of Heroes for the most part, because I mean they've got that down. It's fun. That's the only thing keeping Galaxy of Heroes alive.
I really agree with that. Like, there's
it's,
just so much that they need to do
so
to
so if you
to
just
keep
kind
to
of
just keep the game afloat at this point.
yeah, so if you kind of just copy what they're doing, throw some skins on it, whatever, and put it out here pretty fast, you'll keep your people around. But there's in-game players all around me just leaving. And like I said, I'll probably never leave. I'll just spend this time to like level up my characters, because I hardly have any Gear 11 characters. So I mean, I'm okay with
Right.
it. But people like you,
But
you have
people,
like everyone Gear 11, right? Like you're close to having a lot, and so
yeah, there are several characters that I want to work on, but those characters are nearly done. As far as like their rarities, they're at 7 stars, are really dang close. And then there are a couple of random characters, like I want to finish Kim Lee, and he's at gear 10.
yeah,
I'm just getting to the point where I'm running low on things to do,
but like we talked about this.
and my motivation's low.
We talked about it yesterday, the day before, when we did a video, where I was talking about like they should put out more characters. I don't mean like flood us with characters, but you're still early on in the game where you could still be putting out some more characters coming out soon.
I
And I don't
I
see any of that
agree.
on here.
There are characters that are underutilized, or even just make certain characters easier to get. For instance, Hard Orc is only available in stars. There's plenty in the game, and this is why I said last time they don't need to add characters necessarily. Now they should add some awesome characters,
Yeah.
but there's plenty of adjusting that they could do to the current characters in the game to make the factions more fun to use.
Right.
But
Yeah.
again, the devs have to do little things to help, the player base
And
just
that's
embrace the game more.
what's exciting about Battlegrounds is that you would use team compositions that you may not ever knew about. Like, you know way more about team compositions than I do. I just know what teams I've used in Arena, and outside of that, I don't really need to know. I use my Arena team for everything. For the campaigns, if I were to do Tower, I might do one or two other teams, and then I throw my Arena team in on the raids and everything. So
Right.
and so I mean, you're a lot, you're more knowledgeable of that kind of stuff. So yeah, you're right. Like, there's a lot of compositions you've told me about that I never even knew about. I thought there was a very few, except for like your faction-based ones. Because whenever I did Battlegrounds originally, I took like Nighty-El and put her as the leader for the elves and put all my best elves behind her. Took Soleus and then put all the best humans behind him, and did the same thing with every faction. That might have been the best idea. That's all I knew what to do. Is because that was the best I could string out as many teams as I could. But
Yeah, definitely a lot of material in the game to cover, but there's just so little. There's so little opportunity to even test the stuff out. Like,
all right, so all right, guys, that's what we thought. So overall, just kind of a little underwhelming. Hopefully, this stuff comes out a little faster than what we're thinking it does, and we'll see when the time comes around. But thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you guys later.